new investors and new business owners don't want to hear this stuff. They only want to hear the exciting stuff. But I almost feel like it's trying to talk to kids and tell them about the importance of like diet and exercise. Like they don't want to hear that, but then you're trying to keep them safe. So if anybody takes anything from this is the thing that if you're starting your business, if you start implementing it early, because life happens to you gradually, suddenly. And usually you realize it's a problem when it's too late. Now you're diagnosed with something because you didn't exercise. Now your house is falling apart because you didn't take care of your deferred maintenance. These are the things that you were going to be so happy you did early on. Diet, exercise, eat your vegetables. You're going to have way less health problems in the future. So be proactive with it. But what are some steps now? So we talked about the profit first system. Let's talk about like what are some basic first steps that people can take to start to implement it into their life and business.
And let me zoom out then in, because what you just said there was so key. Because why did you start your business? Like think about that. If you're on this podcast or if you're thinking about jumping in, it's like, why did you start it? Why do you want to start it? I can guarantee it's not for it to become this cash eating monster of like that you're just worried about all the time. And yeah, you may have lots of zeros on some P&L somewhere of your revenue and stuff, but then into your bank account, you've got like just zero, and it's like, what's happening? That's not why we started. We started for, here's the blanket for everyone, right? It's financial freedom, whatever that means to you. The time freedom, the money freedom, the buy whatever you want, give to charity like you want to, whatever that means for you. I will say, just like you talked about going to the gym, Nick, it's like that can keep you from the hospital. That can keep you from lots of bad things. It's like if you have a system for the cash, if you know how to make the money, this is how you build a bridge to financial freedom. That's where I give that Cash Flow 101 example. If you've played that game from Robert Kiyosaki and there's that rat race in the middle and you're trying to land on those green spaces, but he has an outside track too, the fun track or financial freedom track, whatever he calls it. That's the whole game, trying to get to the financial freedom track in the game. So many people in business think that I'm getting into business, so I'm closer to that track, and yet they spend decades in that rat race wheel. And we would have too, like doing the 25 deal, like we were stuck there. But if we would have had a system like Profit First, that's what helps you build a bridge from, I don't care how many deals you're doing. Like I've seen people, Nick, this is no joke, like doing as little as 5 deals a year, like a flip or whatever, and doing just a few $100,000 that have started to build that bridge to financial freedom and had a taste. Then I've had people doing, 5 to 50 to, like millions of dollars. And then it's like, okay, now they're turbocharging their financial freedom. So this is why this conversation around Profit First is so important, because if you have nothing in place, you're not going to taste financial freedom. You're going to have that financial anxiety. You're going to stay stuck in the rat race. You're going to wake up 2 decades from now and say, what the heck happened? Like, what am I doing here? So here's what Profit First is. It is that bridge, but it spins how we usually think about our expenses in the business. Usually, we get money in the door, right? We make a sale. We're super excited. Then what do we do with that money? Boom. It all goes out to expenses. We pay everyone else and their mother first. Like we got to get the marketing out the door. We got to hit payroll. We got to do all this stuff. And then maybe someday we'll have profit, or we can pay ourselves, or like one day we'll wake up and suddenly, like you say, like the suddenly happens and suddenly we'll have some money. But profit in a business is not an event you're waiting for. It's a habit you can bake in to every single sale you do. So that if you are in that cycle, I make a sale, I pay everyone else, profits left over, that's that financial anxiety just on a constant loop. That keeps you stuck in that rat race. So the opposite is the profit first mentality. I make a sale, I take some off the table first. I put my profit first. Go figure, the for-profit business has to have some profit protected. Then the expenses are there to grow the business because I want you to scale, I want you to grow, but I want you to also have financial peace of mind and financial freedom. So that's the profit first mentality. So that's what Profit First from, like from a formula or a mental point of view is helping you put profit first. Now, what I liked about Profit First, Nick, more than I read, all those other books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all of them that say some version of pay yourself first, was that Profit First actually has a system attached to it. That it's not just theory and like, oh yeah, I should pay myself first. It's more of the, okay, how do I actually do this? This is why I tell people, like, I'm not going to knock your socks off here, because you know why? Because it's simple enough that you could go from this podcast and start to implement this and start to feel at least a little bit of the financial pressure release. It's not the end all be all, but it's a great first step to start that release valve. It's not going to be like, boom, it's just like, getting out there and then everything's fixed, but it will help you get on the right track. And it's the envelope method. The practical system behind it is the envelope method. You're giving every dollar a name. So you're setting up specific business checking accounts, especially ones that help you keep more of your cash, like a profit account or an owner's comp or owner's pay, making sure you can pay yourself consistently. And there's literally a physical business checking account there that says this is for you to pay yourself, because then from every deal or every sale you do, a little bit goes into those accounts. So that's the practical system behind it, is you set up bank accounts and you name them. And I could go into all of that, Nick, but that's like a lot of detail if you want that. But this is more of, if you want to start gaining control of your finances, this is the system, the how-to behind it, because the rule behind it and the principle is you're giving every dollar a name and you're intentional with those dollars now, versus you've got lots of money coming into this one big black hole bank account and then all the money goes out because you're putting expenses first, and then you wake up and you're like, where'd all the money go? That's what most people do. So that's where I want to put them on the right track. That's a good first step.